The focus of this recording is the operational aspects of our process manufacturing solution: formulas, process bill materials, batch tickets, product testing, etc. Other recordings will provide insight into reporting, analytics, and related topics. In this example, we will be a manufacturer of gas that fills different size units that we sell. First, let's look at the configuration screen. Here you indicate if you use weight, volume, or both forms of units of measure, as well as your base unit of measure. In this example, we will use pounds and gallons. For process manufacturers, key analytics related to sales and production are based upon what I term the base unit of measure. In our example, a key analytic is the pounds of gas we produce and sell. Here, we could also indicate if we require a formula to be approved. As many process-focused firms work with both volume and weight units of measure, at a global level, we can denote the conversion between volume and weight. We then see we can refine these factors at the stock code level as well as indicate the density. Density is needed due to the fact that if the makeup of formula changes, the density of an item can affect the volume and weight of the end product. Having reviewed some of the key setups, let us move to the formula screen. Let's look at new ref gas. First, why focus on formula? This firm sells many items that include new ref gas, and the formulation is a key to its success. Having a formula for new ref gas that can be applied to different items ensures the same quality gas whenever it is used. While there are many different size items, the base smallest unit for new ref gas is 10 pounds or 1.195 gallons, so we'll use 10 pounds for our formula. The bill material and batch ticket will size the amount of gas needed for different items. We see the process steps we will be using and see details regarding setup time, run time, etc. All are used for costing as well as production planning. You see we have the option to backflush labor. We also see we will do a test after operation 40. We will test the odor. We see the materials we need for each operation as well as instructions. We call this boilerplate. Process manufacturing allows you to create a formula based on a percent of the weight, percent of the volume, or discrete unit of measure. We will use percent of weight for this formula. You notice that most items have a base unit of measure in kg and others use grams. You will have the ability to toggle between different units of measure. From an inventory control aspect, we can indicate what items we want to backflush. For the first item, you see we have allowed for a lower tolerance of 5% and an upper tolerance of 7%. This is needed because the temperature during production causes us to vary the amount to be used to ensure we meet our specifications. We can note other items we will consume in the production process. In this case, we need a gas mask. While creating new ref gas, we create oxygen as a byproduct. While creating the gas, we do not need to use any tools. In terms of overhead, you see we have different rates and methods for each operation. When we move to the Totals tab, you can see the density and can indicate if an override is needed. Key to costing is planning is the 2% loss as the gas dissipates during production and the 1 pound we lose while we flush our lines. We also see the details related to cost. For audit and validation purposes, event history shows who did what when. Next, we'll move to the bill of materials screen. Why? Because each item sold uses a specific vessel and connectors, as well as uses a different amount of gas. We see that this item is a 20-pound tank, so we will use 20 pounds of gas per unit. On the Materials tab, we see the specific items we will use to produce this item. The other items relate to a bill of material, process steps, consumables, byproducts, tools, and overhead serve the same purpose as they do for a formula. We see costs related to this bill of material in the formula we are using. Now, let us make 10 units of the 20-pound offering of new ref gas. First, note that there are 3 different types of batches. Assembly is used when we combine different items. The example here is where we package a 10 and 20-pound unit into a single product offering. Fill is used if we have, in this case, new ref gas in a holding tank and are just going to be filling the tanks for certain items. In our case, as we do not have any new ref gas in our holding tanks, we need to create a batch ticket to make gas as well as fill the units. A mixed batch ticket combines the new ref gas formula and the bill of materials for the item that we are making. First, let's select the formula. Now we select the item we want to manufacture. Notice that only items that use new ref gas can be selected. This ensures that we only fill items that use new ref gas. Let's create a batch ticket for 10 20-pound units. We see the weight and volume that we need for the 10 units. We see we are manufacturing 10 20-pound units. We see the process steps to both manufacture the gas and fill the units. We see the materials have been sized based upon the product that we are producing on this batch ticket. We see the components needed to fill this unit. Notice we need 2 masks. Remember, when we created the formula, we indicated that we needed a mask. And when we created the bill of material, we needed a mask while we were filling the unit. Therefore, you see 2 masks. We see the byproducts we are creating at each operational step. When filling a unit, we will use a pressure gauge. In terms of overhead, we see the rates for each step. We see planned cost and labor time for each operation step. Now that we have reviewed the batch ticket, we could release the order. We could run the critical material report to show us what we are short, as well as print a pick ticket. As all items are backflush, there is no need to issue material. To speed up the process, let us assume the floor just alerted us that they have completed step 40. So now we will do a move, report production, which will backflush labor and the material based upon our setup. The system reminds us there is a quality control test that needs to be performed after step 40 is completed. We do not need to alert the quality control team. Why? Because we will change hats, become the quality control manager, and log into our quality control dashboard where we can review details related to our new role. We see there is one QC order pending. It has not been started. We will drill into the order to perform the needed tests. As the order is as it should be, we indicate it passes, we evaluate and post the results. Now that testing is complete, let us move back and report production. Now the system reminds us that we need to indicate we have performed certain process steps. We move to the screen where we can denote We used the proper uniform and gas mask. Now we are finally done and can do the move at operation 40. Let's pretend the shop floor just told us they have completed step 60, the final step. The unit is now filled. This is where quality takes over. As the item is complete, it is moved into a quarantine location, from which it cannot be used or sold. Rather than move to the quality control dashboard, let's drill into the QC order from this screen. We indicate the color test passed and the pressure is 110. The system tells us that is within range and that test is passed. We then evaluate the results. We then need to post results. This is an indication that it has passed all quality tests and is how we move the item into a location from which it could be sold. Before we sign off for the day, we need to look at two key areas related to customer requirements. First is the need to create a certificate of conformance for the item we just manufactured. Second, a vendor requires us to send a report that details where specific lots of RM001 were used. To address this requirement, we will run our lot traceability report, which shows us all details related to this lot: when it was received, when it was used, what items it was used in. Well, we are done. I hope you saw how and why formulas are created, how a formula is used to create a bill of materials for specific items we sell, how we could process the batch ticket and ensure the needed quality tests and sign-offs have been completed, that we can create a certificate of analysis and traceability reports. Other recordings provide details into reports, analytics, and other subjects.